All right.
Yeah, perfect.
Joining us today, legend, former Bo Show podcast guest, and a fellow quarantiner, Pavel Barbs. Pavel Barber, thank you for coming on the show. We appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. I really had to clear my schedule for this one, but happy to be here.
I'm sure we were a priority on your schedule. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey, so what have you been
Absolutely.
up to, man? I mean, the quarantine doesn't seem to have slowed you down. I mean, you're producing content and you're still lighting up Instagram. We know that, but I mean, what have you been up to? What's been keeping Barbs busy?
Yeah, just desperately trying to shoot content, digging through the vault to edit YouTube videos and stuff. There's a bunch of stuff I had in there that I hadn't gotten around to editing that I now have the time for. But honestly, it's been pretty boring here. I try and not go outside too much, but I get cardio at least once a day, or else I would go insane. I'm going on a lot of rollerblades, a lot of bike rides, things like that.
I was gonna ask about the shirt. I mean, do Pavel Barber shirts are they slim fit or what?
No, I'm just hitting the gym. I got the squat rack in my living room, so it is a huge small, but I'm packing on the pounds here.
I was gonna say, out of all of us that are in quarantine, besides the show guys who are living out in Arizona, you probably have the next best setup with this living room right here that we see all the videos.
Oh yeah.
Of you stick handling. You got the pad there, the net. I just saw you the other day post a video too of, or it was either yesterday or something, post a video of the little rebounder that you can shoot into and it fires back at you. You're doing like a self goalie thing. It's a sweet setup you got there.
Yeah. Getting lonely. Yeah, it's a good setup. I just put the synthetic ice tiles around my entire living room here.
Yeah.
And I turned my futon into a permanent bed. So sometimes I sleep in front of the TV and wake up and stick handle. It's a pretty savage way to live. But you know what? It's desperate times, desperate measures.
Yeah, but and at the same time too, I mean, not many guys get to where you are now with your mitts by just sitting on the futon, right? I mean, they're getting up and they got a good setup like you do there. You living with anyone right now, or are you living on your own?
I live on my own, so
okay.
Desperate for human contact. That's why I took this call.
Yeah.
I needed to hear someone else's voice except my own.
Hey, I feel your pain. When I came back from school, I was self-quarantined. I'm in my cabin right now. We were self-quarantining here for 14 days, no contact with anybody at all. So I completely see that. Hey, what do you think is going to happen? I mean, with the rest of the NHL season, you're a guy who's heavily involved with the NHL and what keeping us up to date on through your social media and YouTube. What's your prediction going forward? No one really knows, but I want to know the Pavel Barber prediction to see if 3 months down the road, if what you say maybe holds up.
Yeah, I mean, I was listening to Darren Dreger talk about the GM's meeting and what they were proposing. And, if everything goes well and we do get a little bit of playoffs, and they were talking about potentially the first round being best of 3 or best of 5. Most of the GMs voting for the best of 5 scenario, of course, more games, the better. But all of them agreed unanimously that the finals just has to be a best of 7. So,
yeah.
You know what? I don't have any real predictions. I don't know what's going on, but I hope that if we do have any bit of time, whether it's doing a best of 3 or a best of 5, whatever it is, as long as we get any playoff hockey at this point, for me, that's a win. So I'm just praying that we get through this and we're able to get a few playoff games in, because, guys are having career years here, like Seidel and team bust, and they don't get a playoffs. Yeah. It's just wrong. It's wrong on so many levels. And then as fans, not being able to see the best part of the year for hockey is just like, oh, it's the worst.
No, I couldn't agree with you anymore. That's the thing too, right? And especially you look at teams like the Rangers or even Philly, just teams that were absolutely heating up, right? And teams who could use a deep playoff run for their fan base,
Big time.
Yeah. So with you, how does this quarantine affect you in terms of your involvement? If there, we obviously haven't talked since last episode of the podcast for just over a year. Your involvement with the NHL or your job, how has this quarantine kind of affected you, kind of almost career wise or with what you're trying to do?
Yeah, I mean, I've certainly been affected from my like doing camps and that point of view. I had to cancel 2 camps already, which was unfortunate. There were like 2 sold out camps that I love going to. So that in that sense lost a lot of work, but I'm lucky. The other half of my income comes from doing the online stuff, being the online influencer, whether it's YouTube or Instagram, whatever it is. So working with brands in that respect, I'm one of the lucky ones, or at least I get some work on the side there. And then working with the clients that I do have, I'm able to do a lot of that online. I did it online a lot anyway. So, whether that's through Instagram DMs or through email or WhatsApp, we send videos and talk through there. So I've at least been able to keep a little bit of that up.
Okay, super cool. And then also talk a bit about because obviously now with the shutdown and everything, everyone's on their phones, everyone's on social media a lot more than usual. So, has there been an opening, for guys like us to hop in on YouTube, Instagram, and stuff like that? Is there more motivation now to provide content when people are really hungry for it?
I think so. I mean, when you think about it, we're all just stuck at home the majority of the day with not much to do. A lot of people who normally don't have much, if any, time on their hands are stuck going, what do I do with my time? So from a content creator standpoint, that could be a benefit to you. Getting more eyes on what you're doing. I think if you're selling something, it's difficult because people are losing money, losing work. So there's a little bit of difficulty there. But you know what? It's definitely a good time to be a content creator because not only can you can say take advantage. Obviously, no one wants to take advantage of a time like this, but you can provide value to people's lives and entertain them. It's a chance for you to help people go through this quarantine a little bit easier. And that's kind of how I'm looking at it. So I'm happy to play the part. And for the people who are entertaining me on YouTube and Instagram, I'm pretty grateful because it's getting me through the day.
No, that I think you put it perfectly. I would definitely rather say that. Providing value to people in this time. Now, on a different note, back to kind of what you do, I love watching the videos of you going one-on-one and absolutely lighting guys up and lighting goalies up. So I have to ask, I don't know if we asked you this in the last episode. I don't know if we did, but who is the goalie? I don't know if you can reveal his identity. Who is the goalie that kind of plays a big part in a lot of your videos, and how many jock straps does he go through a week?
Well, the majority of the time, it's Alex Horosky, who actually plays for Queen's University. And we mention his name quite a bit, so it's not like a hidden secret or anything like that. Okay. He's a great guy. And every year he gets harder and harder to score on. He's a great goal. He's a freak of nature with how tall he is. I think he's like 6'5" or something like that. Not a lot of space to shoot on him, but you know what? In those videos, to be fair, he makes a lot more saves than are in the videos. It's just with the video, we're trying to make it entertaining. And I always tell people this: my videos are pretty unfair to goalies because when you make a good save, it's routine. You're in good position. It looks boring, on video. So a lot of those don't get shown. So shout out to him. He makes a lot more saves than people think. He's tough to swing on.
How long would it take generally for the average video, would you say, to be created? Like the session itself where you guys are filming, going at it, how long generally are you there before you're like, okay, we got what we need?
Yeah, usually if it's on ice, we rent the hour for no longer than an hour, usually, sometimes an hour and a half, depending. But we'll spend the first 10, 15 minutes goofing around, warming up, the goalie and all that stuff. But probably in the neighborhood of 30 to 40 minutes is when we're shooting, and we're taking breaks in between there and stuff. But it's a pretty loose setting. I mean, we're just joking around, chirping each other, having fun,
Yeah.
shooting video. It's really just like having a good time with the boys and capturing that whole experience.
What a time, eh? I think about you guys out there, and I'm just so envious of the times you guys are having. It looks like an absolute blast with what you guys are doing out there.
Oh man, yeah. No, it's a great time, and I think for me too, it's like there's nothing I love more than shooting on a goalie, and thinking of new ways to beat a goalie, new moves to
Yeah.
test out, and yeah, for me, just going one on one with a goalie for an hour or two is doesn't
Now,
get better than that.
what are your thoughts on how many guys tried the Michigan this year? Obviously, guys, Sveshnikov having done it twice, once on my hometown Winnipeg Jets. Is that move are we starting to take that move for granted as fans watching from the outside, being like, oh, this again? Is it becoming like a slam dunk in basketball?
Definitely not like a slam dunk in basketball. I still think it's a special move. I mean, realistically, you think about it, it's only happened 3 times in the history of the game. I think it's still got that rock star appeal to it, and anytime someone scores with it, you're going to get it on every highlight reel. And every time someone's attempting it, at least people are standing up going, oh my God, he's attempting it. So until it becomes more routine, like maybe as routine as like a wraparound goal or something like that, that's when people might start, not being like really wowed by it.
Yeah.
But I mean, you look at how Forsberg did it. I mean, he did it a whole different way where he reversed it and picked it up at the toe and scooped it in. So it's like, they're not only continuing to do it, but they're like building on it and doing it in different ways. So I think, certainly it's still that move that captivates the audience.
And I would definitely say too, as the game progresses and as we see a lot of these younger guys coming into the game that are a lot more skilled, coming in as 18, 19, 20-year-olds out of college, you're going to see a lot more of that kind of game, right? Of this kind of skill game that we're starting to see.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, these kids are the guys who grew up in that creative era where creativity didn't really exist too much. I mean, I'm 30 years old right now. So, not long ago when I was, 15 or whatever like that, these moves were not being attempted, and a toe drag was unbelievable back then. Now that's just an average move. It's these kids are finding new ways to beat people and make it look routine. So it's just pretty crazy how skilled the game has gotten, how entertaining it's gotten as a result.
Now we never got to talk about this in the last podcast. I had said that we wanted to get this next time that I chatted with you. So the World Floorball Championships in Latvia, where you guys now the last tournament was in 2018, correct? 2018.
Yeah, that was in Prague in Czech Republic. Yeah.
Okay, Prague and Czech Republic. Yeah, and then the tournament before that was that one Latvia?
Yeah, that one was Latvia in 2016.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So last term in 2018, you guys finished 11th, which tied the highest ranking that Canada's ever been at the World Championships of Floorball. Now, you've been a member of the last couple teams, last 2 or 3 times that you guys have gone overseas. Now, I mean, what kind of competition is over there? For Canada. Like obviously there must be some serious competition going on overseas, right? With floorball. I know they take it a lot more seriously there as well.
Yeah, I mean, the thing people have to realize is that floorball is quite different from ball hockey, certainly ice hockey, in terms of how it's played, how it's structured, how much skill it takes. And you really do need to play it professionally and regularly to be a competitive team. So that top 10 is filled with all European teams. The top 4 would be like Finland, Sweden, Switzerland. I think who would be the other one? Probably Czech Republic would be up there.
Okay.
But the top 10 are all European teams where it's a professional sport over there, and enrollment in floorball is quite a bit. Like in Finland and Sweden, there's far more players enrolled to play floorball than there are playing ice hockey. So it's a big deal over there, and people can actually make money and play over there. Whereas North America, it's not really a sport, really. I mean, people will see it and know what it is now, but you won't see many leagues here, let alone professional leagues. Like that wouldn't even be a thing. So that's kind of the reason we're not making it big time over there. We don't have anywhere near the competition over here regularly to play. I wish we did. It's a super fun sport. I hope it'll get there one day so we can crack into the top 10. But until then, it's going to be tough to make it to that 10 slot.
What was that experience like? Representing your country in floorball and being there, because that's a big deal. And obviously with the skill set and the I don't know what the right word is, but just kind of the weight that you carry online. You have a big platform to bring a lot of light to the sport, so that's really cool. But what was that experience like going overseas and being there? Also, I've heard Prague is a wild city.
Yeah, Prague is pretty wild. I probably have some stories I can't tell from over there, but no, the experience itself was unbelievable. I mean, my first time in Latvia, it was my first time playing real high caliber floorball. I had trained with it and had some fun with it and stuff. But before then, I was just playing ball hockey, roller hockey, ice hockey. Yeah. So I hadn't had much real experience with it. So that was pretty awesome to get in there and see what the talent was like and put yourself up against the world's best competition and see what it looks like. It was definitely inspiring watching teams like in the finals. You watch Finland and Sweden in front of 16,000 fans.
Isn't that unbelievable?
And just the skill that was in the game, how loud the arena was, how into it the crowd was. It was amazing, like surreal experience. You just being from Canada, you can't imagine people getting excited for floorball like it is over there. But man, it's a party, and it was a great time. And my next year in 2018 in Prague, I was definitely more well prepared, and I think I did a lot better. The team did a lot better, but it's just one of those things. It's always good to represent your country and play a sport you love.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's honestly similar with ball hockey too. Because I mean, I had buddies who went overseas to Switzerland, I believe it was, for the men's World Ball Hockey Championships, and same thing too with the fans. How many fans? 10 to 12,000. And just packing places out. They absolutely love those kind of those sports, almost like the floor sports overseas. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's wild. I don't know what it is, but like here we'd be lucky to get 100 people for like a national ball hockey event. Even though everyone loves ball hockey, and I think every ice hockey player has played ball hockey, it's just not looked at as a competition-wise, like something you'd want to buy tickets to go watch, I guess. But over there, they love it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, hey, Barbs, appreciate you doing this, man. We love watching your content on Instagram and YouTube and everywhere that you're at. It definitely brings value to other people, and we appreciate you, man. What you got anything you want to say? How can people contact you if they want some lessons? They want to learn how to do the Michigan. I mean, how can I contact you if I want to learn how to do that, or if I want a lesson or something?
Well, yeah, the best way for people to reach me, all the proposals for like whether it's a camp or a lesson would just be pavelbarber@gmail.com. Usually 3 to 5 days we get back to you on that. Other than that, there's, if you want to learn some stuff like Michigan and all that, there's a bunch of tutorials. I get a ton of questions where I'm just copying and pasting links to people. So if you're ever wondering how to do a move, I probably have a YouTube video for it. So just maybe try look up Pavel Barber, Datsuk move or whatever it is. Hopefully I've done a video for you, and I'm always taking requests if you guys, want to learn something else there.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Okay. Well, right on. Appreciate you doing this, and we'll talk to you later. Hey, I'll get you to stay on, and I'll finish this up. But thanks again for coming on. Appreciate you.
Perfect, man. No worries.